Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel and to week 17 of Roxy's Weekly Challenge. And this week, she's just titled it Paint. And I saw that and I thought, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I don't really do painting, but actually this seems quite a fun challenge. It wasn't going to challenge my abilities too much. I just wasn't sure I had some watercolour paints or any that were any good. So I had a quick look in my stash to see what I had, and I've got this little palette here. It was a cheap one. I probably got it from Amazon or from one of the stationery shops or something, really cheap. But it had lots and lots of colours, and I have used it occasionally. As you can see, there's a few marks on here. I have used it a bit. I can't remember what for. Quite a while ago, I think. But I haven't used it for ages. But I also found this one, which was by company called Reeves. Don't know if they're a good company or not, but it seemed quite a nice, smart little palette. It's never been used. I mean, you can see there's a few marks on it now because I've had a little play, but it was completely unsullied up until this morning. I believe I may have got this, inherited it, I suppose, from my mother-in-law, because we did. She was quite into her art, and she had quite a lot of art things, papers and paints and all sorts. And I think some we did donate to charity shops, but I think I kept a few things that I thought I might use one day. So I think this could be one of them. I'm not sure. But I thought, well, this is looks quite a nice one, and I think maybe these are a little bit more pigmented than the cheapy ones, so maybe they'll come up better. I don't know. So I've been having a little play, but I'm going to carry on and do a few more. So I'm just going to keep these paints handy. I think I might put this one on this side. So I thought I'll try and use this lid, which goes with this pot, for the greens and blue colours, or the cool colours. And I'll try and use this one for pinks and things. Pinks and oranges and things like that, depending on how it goes. I don't know. I have no real plan, but I just thought I'd have a go. I've got my water and my brush and a few little scraps, really. I just picked out a little pile of scraps of papers to use because Rachel just tore up. She took a big sheet and tore it into small little strips, really. So they're only swatches that we're doing, little paint swatches. So it doesn't need to be big pieces. So I thought, well, I'll just get a little selection of some of my scraps and see how they come up. So I might as well start with this one. And she literally just tore hers into strips, tall strips, short strips. Not sure how this one will come out because it's got quite a dark background, but we'll see. And I'll tear this down as well. The scary bit was what she did with it a bit later in the video when she sewed. She did some sewing. I'm going to give it a go. Don't know how I'll get on. Might do a little bit. And I'll tear that into a little piece. I've got far more than I'm going to need here, haven't I? So I may not use all of these pieces because they're all the same. So maybe I'll take a couple away. They can go into collage at some point. So, and she said just lay them out in front of you and do some swatching. So maybe I'll do one more piece. What else have I got? I've got this piece of Amazon packaging. I'll just tidy it up a little bit. Whoops, that's not good. That didn't tear very well. Try it the other way around. Alright, I'll just use that little piece because that's how it seems to want to go. Let's see if I can get this. Right. Let's just try these bits. So I'm going to do, I think I want to do some bluey greeny colours. I've had a little go with some of them, but I feel like I've got some more to try. So I was going to use this. You see, I've done a bit with some greens here, so I'm just going to do a bit more. I want to go a little bit darker. So let's see how we get on here. Need lots of water. I mean, Rachel does this sort of thing a lot. I'm sure she's done it before. You could see from her palette she's done loads of this kind of thing. Well, I've never done anything like this, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going to experiment, which I think is what it's all about anyway, trying to make some new colours. So that's a darker green. So I might just do a big square of that here. And a bit more on here. See how it comes out, and let's put that one aside for now and just do another little splotchy bit on here. See how that comes out, because it's a different background. Okay, and put a bit more of this on. Go full on green. There's some more greens over there which I might try and bring in. See how that looks. I think the idea is just to keep adding colours and just seeing how the colour changes as you go along. It's quite a fun thing to do. And then you end up with lots of little pieces of paper to use in your project, I suppose. Right, I'm going to bring in, let's turn this around so I can get at it. I'm going to bring in some of this green. It's quite a darkish green, but it's not as dark, I don't think. Slightly brighter green. Let's see how this looks. A little bit of that as well. Let's try that one. Okay. And then I'm going to add in some of this. Can you see? I think you can see these paints on the camera. Go a bit brighter. Try a bit of this as well. Right, let's go with that one. And a spot here. So these two are these two are done, ready to, just got to leave those to dry now. Let's keep going with this one. Bring in some more of this light sort of limey, yellowy green here. Ooh, it's like a freshly cut grass or something. I think I need another little piece of paper to bring to use up some of the colour I've made. Got a piece of this. Let's go with this piece. I can use some of that up. Oh, it's a big square, isn't it? And then we might bring in a bit of yellow. And a bit more of this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing to see if I can make a different colour. Make it even lighter. Right, that. I think I'll go with that. Okay, so this one is done. I think I'm going to bring in a bit of blue from over here. Just let me just check that you can actually see this paint box. Yes, you can. Can you? Can you see all the colours? Yep, you a little bit more. Yeah, just about. You can see the ones I'm using at the moment anyway. I shall move on to some different colours in a moment. Just needed one more colour. In here. Let's go with this. Okay. Every shade of green. Right, let's leave those two to dry. I've got a little little tray over here. Hang on, I'm just going to move them. They're quite wet, but they don't take very long to dry. And move this piece. I think I might like to do a little array of blue, and then we'll move on to some pinky colours, I think. This little piece, Let's get some blue on the scene, shall we? I'll go for the darker blue to really move this colour across to something darker, but more blue. Well, it's a greeny blue. It's a lovely colour actually. I like that. A little circle here. And we'll go even darker. Bring in a bit of this. Yummy. Let's go for a bit of this now. What difference this will make? It's a bit lighter. Definitely going more blue now, isn't it? Moving away from the green shades. I'll pull in a bit of this colour. See where that takes us. And okay, so now we've got some changing shades of blue. Love those. I need to get a little tiny one left in there. So I might go for the sort of slightly turquoisey colour down here. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, I like those. I think I'm going to just use my tweezers to move them. It's easier to not get my fingers in them. So they're really pretty colours. Really like those. Oh, it's gone on the floor. Oh well. I'll move this one and then see if I can retrieve the other one. Well, I can see it, but it's gone right under my little table over to the left there, so I'm going to have to try and get that out later. But luckily it's landed paint side up, so I'll just let it dry under there and get it later. So let's, oh excuse me, let's do a little bit of pink, and then we can do some swatches. Or maybe while I've got these colours, these bluey colours, I'll bring in some fabric, because that was the other thing that Rachel did, was to do some swatches on fabric. So I don't want to waste these colours. There's sort of like little rainbow shades there, so maybe I'll try and use some of these on some fabric. So this is it's an old tea towel, I think, so it's quite thick. I saw she was using quite thick fabric, so she's used some old hemp. I don't know what this is, some sort of thickish fabric. I've got a variety of different types of fabric here, so I thought I'd try different ones. So let's just use up these lovely bluey colours. Let's go up here and just see what we can get. And then we're going to go a little bit, get this in here. I'm not going to put them too close to each other, because I did notice I did have a little quick go with a little piece of fabric as well, and I noticed the colours just spread and spread, so I'm trying to keep them apart so they don't merge into each other. So I think if I leave it like that, they'll gradually get, those little splotches may well get bigger. And let's try a bit of, this is a bit of coffee dyed, just a little bit of, I think it's an old probably polyester or something that will slip, then coffee dyed. See how that looks, why not? I'm just going to try it. Do one piece there, you can see it's already spreading. Oops. Go for the really dark blue for this one. Because I'll do a circle. Oh, the other one's a square, so, well, squarish. There we are. Let's do a little tiny one. Let's get my... I've lost my tweezers now, there they are. Just move that to one side. And my last little piece to try, what else have I got? Oh, well I thought I'd try a bit of this, broderie anglais. Just a cotton broderie anglais, but I thought it might be pretty with some colour on it. So let's just go for that. Do a little circle there. Mix in a bit of colour. Try and create something a little different, a little lighter maybe. Failing miserably, looks exactly the same. Oh well. Let's bring in a properly lighter colour. Try this piece, this colour here. I love that. I don't know how that'll end up, but it might be okay. Might look quite pretty on something. Or I might decide it's not enough colour on there. We'll see. Okay, I'll let those dry. Now I really think it's time to move on to some other colours. Right, let's properly move this out of the way. And I'm going to use this palette for the for the new colours. Right. I'm just going to, where's my kitchen towel? I'm just going to try and wipe off the excess. I don't want to get those muddied. Some of this. Oops. A little bit of music I thought I'd try, but I can't find it. So I've got this piece, that's quite nice. Oh, there it is. Right, let's start the darkish colour. Sort of purpley, pinky colour. Hope you can see that, because now I've turned it around it might not be so easy to see the paint. Right, let's do a nice big purpley square here. It's a lovely colour. Actually, I want to tear this piece in half, if it will. Make a little one. Okay. Right. More pink this time. I'm going to add in a little bit of red just to perk up the colour a bit. Yeah, that's nice. It kind of warms it up. Yeah. I'm not going to do it on that one. I'm going to put a different colour on that one. What we can do now, should we go do a little bit more red? Try this one. No, the reds might be probably too strong for this to have an effect. Try that. Not much different really. Let's bring this colour in. Sorry, you can't see it, it's a kind of corally colour. It's a really lovely colour. That's pretty, like that. And then let's try going paler. Just bringing the colour down a little bit. Let's see what this does. And I think I'll do it on here as well. Okay. They're really pretty. Put those up here to dry. Let's try some new variations. A couple more little strips here. I'm going to start off lighter this time. Go even lighter if I can. and then add some warmer colours in. Right, bring in a little bit of orange just to see how that affects it. Oh yes, a little peachy. Nice. Let's bring in some of the coral again. That's a lovely colour. Now I'm going to go for orange. Just intensify that colour a bit. Go on here. And I think we might just add in some red. See where that takes us. Whoa. Yeah, I think we need that. Just do a little circle at the bottom here. And I think I'm going to add in a bit of purple. See where that goes. Okay, that's a different one. I've got another little patch here I can add that to. Okay, so we have a nice little selection here. And I think I might just, I'm nervous to move them over to the side now. I might just put them up here to dry. Then I've got no danger of losing them under the table. Whoop, there we go. Okay, that's, get off. Stuck to my paper. Okay, so now we need a little bit of the fabric. So this piece, I'll do a different shape. I'm going to do. This was a piece of tablecloth, I think, similar sort of texture to the tea towel, a little bit finer. So let's do some pinky colours on here. Nice colour. I'm just going to blob it, let it travel. Okay, and then we're going to go a little bit more, bring in some more pink. darker pink. Maybe just bring this in a little bit more. Yeah. Just want a change of colour. Those two look quite similar. Sort of peachy colour now. That's nice. Put that there. The colours do seem to come up differently on the fabric than they do on the paper. And then I think for that last little corner I want to go darker again. More purpley. Don't think I've got purple on here, have I? That might work. Grab a bit of dark blue. Whoa, it's got too blue. Oh, that's a really dark. Oh, that is really purpley. That's quite nice. I like that. Let's go for that. Totally different colour. Good. There we are. I'm all liking that. Let's pop that over to one side. Let's see what else we've got in the way of fabric to play with. I'm going to have another piece of this broderie anglais, I think. Just tidy up that edge. Let's go for the two colours on here. So these colours I'm not really using so much on this, for this colour. I haven't got so many choices of pinky colours on this palette as I have over here. So I've got that one. I can make that a little bit lighter. It's probably very similar. Let's try this. I'm hesitant to bring in white, but I could just, perhaps just a little bit of white, just knock it back a little bit. That will work. Yeah, just brings it, makes it a little bit paler. Just for a different colour. Oh yeah, you can see the difference here. Probably could have done with being ironed before I used it, but once you stick it in something, it'll soon get rid of those creases, won't it? So yeah, I've got that piece. And I'm going to do one more piece. And then I think we need to have a pause, let it dry, and see what I'm going to do with some of these. Don't know where this came from. I have this, I've got lots of bits of this sort of cottony material. I can't remember where I got them from. Possibly, I don't know if they were a sheet or a pillowcase or something, quite possibly. So, go with the purple. That blue is really strong from here. That is it just completely changes it to blue. Okay, I think we're bringing it back to a purpley colour again. Let's go with a more pink. Okay. I think I'm only going to get 3 little swatches on here. And then bringing in the orangey corally colour again. How's that? Okay, there we go, like those. Right, so I think that's probably enough to play with later, a little bit later. Just need to let everything dry, have a think about what I'm going to do, and then we'll come back and I might do a little bit of sewing. We'll see. Right, so here's all my little swatches. They're all dry. Here's the paper ones are in here, and these are the little fabric ones. Didn't do very many of those, but I think I will use them up quite quickly because I'm. When Rachel says that she finds that she hoards them, I didn't really understand what she meant until I made them myself, and now I'm thinking I don't really want to use that because it's too pretty. So I will try and use some. I have made a little bit of a start, not a start really, but I've gone ahead and threaded my needles and chosen the pieces that I'm going to sew because I'm a lot slower than Rachel at these things, so I needed to kind of get a bit of a head start. I will probably put this bit on fast forward because I'm not a very fast sewer. But the piece I've chosen to use, I've got this piece of really pretty fabric, and I've got this one, except I want to cut this piece off because I don't think it goes with the background, and I think it's a bit long anyway. So I might just take that off. That can just go on something on its own, I expect, just as a little embellishment. And I think the colours go really well with this, and I think the colours go quite well possibly with the spring journal, and it's a little bit long. I might just pop that there. So I'm just going to see if I can tear it across. Probably can't. No, I'm just going to cut it. It'll fray in its own good time. So I've got that piece. So if you've seen Rachel's video, you know the piece she sewed ended up being a little bit big for some of the things she tried to put it on. So I've gone a little bit smaller with my one, and I'm just going to bring that in a little bit so we can see that pretty edge. And I'm going to pin it into place because I don't trust myself not to have it going all wonky doodle all over the place. And I'm just going to give it a go, and I'm going to try and do cross stitch along here. I don't really want to sew all over this because I think it's too pretty. I'm just going to sew it along the side. So let's see how this goes. Right, so I finished the bit of cross stitch. It's not perfect, but then who expected it to be? Certainly not me. These ones are better. These ones went a bit awry, but that's where I started, and they're a bit too close together. But it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to do a little bit of running stitch, I think, up and down the other side, just to make sure it's all held on as well. I think I've done enough cross stitch. I just thought that would look nice on the edge there. And just going to come up here and try and do it a little bit the way Rachel did. Just a few along here. I may do a couple of rows. See how I get on with this. It's been a long time since I've done much in the way of sewing. I used to, many years ago, I used to do a lot of cross stitch. I used to make little cross stitch pictures and used to love it. It's one of those things that went by the wayside as my hands got a little bit more achy and didn't work so well. And it was a bit too much to do to complete a whole picture, but I think I can manage this little thing. That's within my capabilities, I think. And then we'll just go back the other way if I can. And maybe I'll just come back and do it slightly off not off centre. Yeah, not line them up, if you see what I mean. Do them in between where the gaps are. I'll sew those bits. It's going backwards now, so it's a bit weird coming back this way. It's probably not the right way to do it, but that's the way I'm doing it. I'm nearly there. Oh, I have some news to tell you while I think about it. Yesterday, our daughter Hannah, who we know, as you may remember, is expecting a baby in September. Well, she came over yesterday with her husband and his parents, and they brought with them some cupcakes, and they did a little gender reveal of the cupcakes. So we all had to bite into the cupcakes to find out what colour was inside, and it was blue. We're having a little grandson. It's kind of exciting. We haven't had a boy in the family for a very long time. Well, I've only ever had 2 girls, and I only had a sister. So boys are a bit of a mystery to me, and to quite a few of us, I think. But we're all delighted. They're all delighted. As far as the scan, it looks on the scan as though all is well. He looks to be okay as far as they can tell. And I think Richard in particular is rather delighted to have a little boy in the family. Loves his girls, but I think he would really like a little boy. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I think that's just do this again. And yeah, so it's exciting. Got to start thinking boy things, because I was thinking I do want to do some sort of journal of his first year, like I did with Alyssa. But whereas I think she would love it when she's old enough to appreciate it, I'll give it to her. Not sure a little boy would be quite so interested. You never know. I just can't imagine him walking in and saying, "Can we do crafting, Nana?" like she does. He'd be more likely to come in and say, "Can we play the football, Grandad?" which Grandad would really love. So there we are. I've done that little piece. And let's get rid of that. Oh, mustn't lose my needle. Let's put it back in my needle case. And so I've got that ready. So I think that looks quite nice. It's just a bit different. I mean, that's not something I ever do. Right, and I've got another one I want to do. So I've got this piece, and I really fancy doing that as well. So I'm going to give that a go, and I've got another piece of thread ready to go. I'm probably going to go way over my time. So, apologise for that, but I just wanted to do this as well because this is such a pretty colour. It's my favourite, as you probably know. And I just wanted to make one in this colour that I can then hoard. Right, there's that little swatch. I think I do quite like it with the mixture of the two stitches. My cross stitches have gone a bit awry again. There was a weird one in the middle, but that's okay. It's all hand done. And I think they look quite sweet. I like those. So I think I've got a couple of bits that I might try and sew something on. Not sew, glue. I think I'm done with the sewing for today. Because certainly these colours go well with the spring kit. This is the spring birdsong kit, and I wondered if this might go on one of these or on one of the tags. I don't know if the colours are quite right on here. I'll have to look at some of the paper ones. That might be quite nice because it's quite a big blank area on there, isn't there? I wonder if I could get away with putting that on there. I have got some paper ones that might also go quite nicely. I just wondered about whether to go down the green route instead because there's quite a lot of pink here. Maybe do something like that with just a little bit of extra fabric. Something like that. Actually put the fabric on the outside. Something like that maybe. I think perhaps the green is a good idea because of all the green here, but there's just an awful lot of pink in it. Something like that I might do. Yep, I think I will. I think I'll put that on there. Will this go on somewhere? Let's have a look at these postcards. It's going to need a stamp. Oh, there's a blank on there. Oh, I've got 3 here. What about that one? like that maybe, or like that. I think I quite like it on here. Let's glue it. I'm going to make a decision and go for it and just glue it on. And this one needs a stamp here, so I'm going to get my stamps out if I can find the right book. There it is. No, that's not the right one. That's labels. It must be this one then. So we can find a stamp with the right colour scheme or the right feel. Could do one with a bird. That'll go nicely on there. And it's an old one, so it's already got this, a little bit of stamp on it. And I rather like that because there's a bit of yellow in it and it brings out the yellow there. Yeah, I'm going to put that on there. Okay. Right, there probably is a bit more work to be done on this. I may well back it if I don't think it's strong enough, but at least it looks quite pretty. That's a bit of a different take on a cluster there, isn't it? All right, so there's that, and I'm just going to pop this on here. Right, so there's that one. I may put something else in the middle here, I don't know yet. Possibly a little image of some sort, probably a bird. Shall we see if we can find one? Just quickly. I quite like him. I'm going to have to take that middle out, so I'll be right back when I've done that. Right, I'm just going to pop this beautiful goldfinch on here. I had one of these on in our garden this morning. That's what made me spot it, because I thought, I've seen one of those today. So if I get it so it's just about resting on the edge of his nest, or her nest, I suppose. I think she goes quite nicely on there. There we are. How about that? So just needs a little topper, bit of ink, probably sewing around. I shall probably sew around it. And that's one done for the journal, which we've hardly started on yet, have we? So there we are. That's that. And then I've done another little postcard, both from the same kit. Might do a little bit more on here as well. Might do a bit of, I might sew around, I'm not sure. And these are the swatches that we did. So the paper ones, this one, oops, and the little fabricy ones. I like this. Really quite pleased how that's turned out. So there we go. Thank you for joining me today. Sorry this video's gone on a bit long. I'm pretty sure it'd be hard to edit it to anything under an hour, so it probably will go over the hour. But these things take me a while. And please do join me again soon for my next video. Because I've squeezed in an extra one this week, this one and the next one will be a little bit a day later than usual, just because I've popped in an extra video when I made the cluster book. So I'm just going to space out my videos a bit after that. Okay, thank you for joining me. Bye for now.